How much do you love him? How much do you love him? Jesus. Or do you love him at all? Do you love him enough to turn from your wicked ways? Do you love Jesus enough to give up whatever that is that's holding you back from getting closer to him? Do you love him that much? See, we got some stuff down here going on, and it's like taking folks out, and it's taking folks out quick. How much do you love him? Do you love him more than anything? You got to get that love inside your heart, because he sure loves us. He died on the cross. He loved us that much that he died. And this sick the way we return our love back to him. Do you love him enough to start loving your brother you ain't spoke to in years? Do you love Jesus enough to put down that crack? Do you love him enough to stop going out and sleeping with everybody, knowing that you're married? Do you love him at all? Because he surely loves us. That's what I loved about Peter in the Bible. So many of us are just like Peter. The only difference between us and Peter is that Peter's stuff got rolled down and it's in the Bible. Yeah. One thing I liked about Peter, though, Peter asked a lot of questions. Whole lot of questions all the time. Peter was different. And when you read about Peter, you can't do nothing but laugh at it sometimes. And you say, that's me. I'm just like Peter. Because when you talk about love, that was one point of time when Jesus asked Peter, he said, how much do you love these? He had to ask Peter 3 times. Peter said, yes, I love you, like he really didn't mean it. And Jesus said again, Peter, how much do you love these? Do you love me, Peter? Let me just paraphrase it. Yes, Lord, I love you. And I can just tell by reading that Peter was just kind of, yeah, I love you. You know, I love you. But the third time he asked him, I could see Jesus kind of raising his voice. I just go in my mind with this. Peter, how much do you love me? And Peter kind of grieving a little bit. See, should Jesus have to ask us how much do we love him? It shouldn't even get to that point, because we should be showing it. And we should be showing it so much. We should be letting our light shine through our own lives, each and every one of us individually. And we all know Peter was a great fisherman. And I believe that Peter loved to fish so much that fishing got to him in so many ways. He was a great fisherman. He loved to fish. And when Jesus, I believe Jesus was also asking him like this, do you love me more than this fish, Peter? Do you love me more than anything? How much do you love me? See, we so much like Peter in so many ways. Yeah. It shouldn't get to that point. You should wake up praising God. All through the day you should be praising God. Don't just wait on Sunday. How much do you love him? Do you love him enough to stop abusing your wife? When he told, the words say you love your wife as Christ loved the church. Too many people beating up on their wives. How much do you love him? Do you love him enough to stop that drinking habit you got? Good God Almighty. Do you love him to leave them streets alone before them streets take you out? How much do you love him? Because if he can hang on the cross and die for us, shed his blood, how compassionate he was. Even the thieves up there. Good God Almighty. That's how much he loved us. So how much do you love him? Yeah. Do you love him enough to start going home at night? Do you love him enough to even just start going to church? Do you love Jesus enough to just straighten up your life for him and live only for him and stop? Do you love him enough to stop doing your own will? Good God Almighty. How much do you love him? Yeah. Too many people doing all kind of negative things, getting taken out every day. As I'm speaking right now, somebody is dying. As I'm speaking right now, somebody is on their way to hell. Oh, do you love him? The question is, do you love him, or are you making up excuses? What did God say? I hate excuses. I hate complaining. I hate murmuring. God don't tolerate excuses. So be careful with your life. How much do you love him? Yeah. Should he have to ask you 3 times like he did Peter? How much do you love him? Do you love these? I like when they say these. How much do you love your money? Uh-oh. The love of money is what's taking a lot of people out, which is the root of all evil. Too many people putting their material things before God. We do it backwards. We put the material things before God when God already told us seek the kingdom first. And all the other things will be added. But instead of seeking the kingdom, we putting the material things in front first. And then worrying about the kingdom later. It don't work like that. How much do you love him? Yeah. What can you give up for him right now? You ain't got to wait on Sunday. You can get out in your front room right now. Whoever looking at this video, how much do you love him? Because when you look at your life and what he has done for you, you ought to be shouting with joy. Yeah. It shouldn't be no problem praying to God. It shouldn't be no problem praising God. There's too many quiet folks claiming that they love him so much but won't even say his name in church. Worrying about what folks say. Do you love him enough to stop judging? Good God Almighty. Yeah. Because he surely loves us. Man laid down his life for a friend. He laid down his life. Good God Almighty. That's enough said right there. How much do you love him? Well, you know, I think I love him a little bit. A little bit ain't enough. Oh, no. How much do you love him? I got to keep saying that. I got to make somebody think right now. How much do you love him? Because look back over your life, you should be dead. But he spared your life in spite of how bad you was. How much do you love him enough to turn around and give your life back to him and live your life the right way? Yeah. Good God Almighty. Do you love him enough to get off of that cocaine and that heroin? Do you love him enough to stop lying so much? Do you love him enough to stop gossiping so much? Do you love him enough to go speak to your brother you ain't spoke to in 20 years? Good God Almighty. We so divided up and we split. And it's tearing up everything. How much do you love him? Yeah. Do you love him enough to pick up his word and start reading it? Do you love him enough to get out of that scary zone you in and start singing like he wants you to sing for him? Do you love him enough to just stop being in your comfort zone and just go all the way out with your preaching and your teaching? Do you love him enough to stop worrying about how others look at how you play and just play your instrument for him? Do you love him? How much do you love him? So I like to just go deep in my mind. I believe he could just come down right now and just look at half of these houses, half of these churches. What would he say? What would he say when he's looking for that love and ain't nobody trying to do it? Good God Almighty. And I just thank God for everybody. How much do you love him?